Hey, good evening, Legit. What's going on? This is a new series that we're going to be starting on the Legit blog, conveniently located at blog.legit.com, that we're going to do to help our buyers and our sellers kind of improve their experience here on the Legit platform. And that is, I'm going to take a profile of one of our sellers and review it and give them some tips on how they can make it a little more accessible for our buyers and in turn get them some more sales. I think it'll really benefit everybody involved. And we're going to be doing these at least once a week and maybe more from there. So be on the lookout for those. And without further ado, let's dive right in and get started on the first one. All right, so the first seller whose profile that we're going to be reviewing today is BizWeb. That's BizWeb, and I'll link to their profile below. But they have 3 different services. It looks like they started on October 6th, 2018, and today is October 20th, 2018. So they've been on for about 2 weeks. It doesn't look like they've gotten their first sale yet, but that's okay. We're going to give them some pointers, and then we're going to get right into it. All right, some good. You have a logo for your profile picture. A lot of people, when they start, they just leave it blank or they get some sort of stock image. A logo is a good way to build trust and get people to know your brand and make them like you and things like that. You've got descriptive titles. So when I look at your title, I instantly know what you're offering. There's 2 different ways you can go with titles. You can go with, I don't want to say clickbait, but enticing titles. Or you can just describe what it is you're doing, and both of those work well, and you're doing okay with that. Your thumbnails are somewhat branded. They have your logo as kind of like a watermark on each one. That's a good thing. That way people will start to associate the logo with you. So that's a good thing. And your profile description is good. It tells exactly what you do, and it's, well written and things like that. So that's good. I think you're off to a good start that way. There are some things that I do think need some work that will help you out. And this, again, any design thing I say, it's kind of personal opinion, but it's also based on what I've seen in, 5 years of doing this, what works well and what doesn't. And the first one is, and I hope you don't take offense to any of this, but I really don't like your name. BizWeb to me sounds like an MLM, like a multi-level marketing or a, network marketing company. That's okay if that's your brand name, but that's just what popped into my mind. That may be totally fine, but like I say, I'm going to be as honest as I can, and that's kind of where my thought went when I heard that. The logo, it's not very memorable. It's kind of dark, and that's going to be a recurring theme over the things we look at. It's not something that I glance at and I instantly know it's your service. I think it could stand to be like a little bit brighter, a little happier, for lack of a better term. You hear, and I think that's important in sales in general, right? Like, you hear how my voice is, kind of excited and kind of talking fast and really pumped to be doing this, which I actually am. But if I were just sitting here talking like this, and then you should change your title, it's, you know what I mean? It doesn't come off as happy and excited. And when I look at your logo, I kind of feel that way too. So I hope that makes sense. There's plenty of great logo designers on there, or you could probably do it yourself since you're in the kind of like the creation space. So everything in general is just kind of a bit on the dark side, like these dark blues and the blacks and things like that. They don't really stand out. If we take a look at some of the ones that are doing really well, you see how we got like some reds and some greens, a lot of orange, colors that really pop and grab your attention. A red here again. Things like that. So I think that might help you stand out a little bit more from a crowd. That's just, that's just opinion. But I mean, if you look at the homepage, that's kind of what's winning. So I would try to emulate that a little bit. Maybe just, brighten up your images a little bit. Be a little more fun and a little happier with it. So overall, that's pretty much it. Your profile doesn't look that bad. Like, there's nothing here that would disqualify me from working with you just by glancing at it. Like, if I were in the service or on the lookout for these types of services, I would definitely dig a little further into it. So the next thing we're going to do is go into each of your services and just give some thoughts and things like that. So my very first thought on this one is it's way too expensive. I understand you got to make profit and things like that, but $25 for 10 citations is $250 a citation. And if we go and we look at the top selling services, The best-selling citation services are 50 for $29, 15 for $15, and 20 for $20. And you are charging 25 for 10. So it's going to be hard for you to explain why yours is so much better that they should charge they should pay $250 per citation. So that's just kind of it. Now, when we get up into the other packages, it's not quite so bad. 40 for 40 is $1 citation. That's not bad. But the base package, I think you're probably going to have to knock that down some if you're going to get any sales of that. On the sales page, I don't really like this green text. It doesn't, I know this is kind of contradictory to what I just said, but as for your sales text, I generally stick with black throughout the page. And then if there's like a point I really want to hammer, I will make it red. But overall, I don't know. To me, my eye skips that. Maybe that's just me, but that's it. I don't hate your description here. This text could stand to be spaced out a little better. That's just a formatting thing. That's not a big deal. And the thumbnail, again, it's just too dark. Like, I don't know. I like brighter colors. Maybe that's just me, but the big black text, it just doesn't, it's not very eye-catching to me. So that's kind of the main things I would change there is get a little brighter of an image here. You're definitely going to have to adjust that price because I don't think anybody's going to pay $25 for 10 citations. And play with this and see if it makes a difference or not. And then just space out this text a little bit. So overall, that one's not too bad, but I think the price is really the big thing to take away from that. All right, let's look at the next one. Content creating for search engines. This image is actually not bad, but I don't know. I kind of like this one better, but with the typewriter, it's a little brighter. And, to me, I see this and I go, okay, it's content. That makes sense. It's because it's a typewriter. Although, these people under a certain age are probably like, what the heck is a typewriter? But that's neither here nor there. So, again, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but the price is just too high. Like, 700 words for $20 is actually not that bad if it's really good content. But you haven't proven yourself yet, so you may have to dial it down a little bit. A lot of the time you'll get 500 words for $8. And again, I know that you may have a higher quality and therefore can charge more, but until you get some reviews and some proven success under your belt, it's probably going to be a little harder to do that. Sales page isn't actually that bad. Again, I'm not sold on this green text. I'm not saying that it's a deal breaker, but for me, I don't know. I think it could probably cause people not to read it. Maybe I'm wrong. Test that, see what works. Also, this first sentence, manually written SEO articles or regular updated web content is essential for any SEO strategy. It's a bit awkward. I would play with the wording on that. Normally, I wouldn't say it matters, but since you're charging for premium content, you want to make sure that's real tight. And I would turn this into a bulleted list. So that's not a big deal there. Other than that, I think this one looks pretty good. I think once we get some reviews and you can prove that you're worth charging a little bit more, then I think this will do well. Because content is definitely by far the most selling category on the site. So yeah, that's good. And let's change this and make this the default image. And just get your logo on there somewhere. So that's that one. And then the last one, best user experience web development. That's actually a really great service. And it is. I like the way you've written your sales copy. I think it's very engaging. It makes people want to buy it, but it also explains what you're doing, so that's good. Again, the green text I'm not sold on, and the thumbnail is like too dark and foreboding. I'm not sure if I'm using that word right, so forgive me, but it's just kind of ominous and doesn't like make me want to do it. Also, I would get some pictures of sites that you've designed and just get those in there. Either get them in the body or just as one of your images here, so people can kind of like picture themselves having a site just like that. And then or you can link to them, or I would actually do both. So, and that way people can kind of get an example of what it is you do and what kind of quality they get. Because $360 is really not that out of line for a website, but you need to take away as much static as possible and give people an example of what they are going to get because they need to imagine it. You're probably thinking, well, they can ask me if they want examples, but they may not do that. You want them to see that and go, oh, I want one like that. Can you do this? Or just hit the buy button. So right now I would add a couple links to examples of what you've done and then a couple pictures of it as well. Because $360, like I said, the price is not out of line, but it's still a big ask for a lot of people. So I think that will really help you out a lot there as well. And on all of your services, I would include samples available upon request or something to that effect. So that's that. That's pretty much all I got. Like, overall, you're not doing a bad job or anything. I think the main things that are holding you back are the price and these images just not being very friendly. Like, I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're badly designed or anything like that, but they don't stick out very well at all. And they're just kind of dark and unhappy. So I think if you punch up those few things and then make the few other little tweaks I said, and then advertise, a little bit, post in the group on Mondays and things like that, I think you'll probably get a couple sales here and there and then start some momentum and you really start being able to do well with it. So that's what we got for this site review. Again, the profile is legit.com/profile/BIZWEB, BizWeb. We'll link to that on this blog post and below the video. If you want to get your site reviewed, check out the Legiit Facebook group at legit.group and join there, and you'll see a post pinned in there where you can comment with your profile and get a review like this done for you. So that's all I got for you today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next week.